No, I can never get enough, never get enough, I can never get enough, never get enough, I can never get enough, I can never get enough, I can never get enough, but it's my whole life, I can never get enough, never get enough, I can never get enough, never get enough, I can never get enough, I can never get enough, I can never get enough, but it's my whole life.
Let's do it.
Welcome, family. Welcome, people. It's Friday, October the 3rd. Another week of Peep Game TV and Keeping a Real Team collaboration. I'm your man, Shadi Ali, a.k.a. SRD, with my man, Jay Sean, a.k.a. Mr. F. Love.
You
We
know it.
know y'all could have been anywhere, but we're thankful that y'all here with us tonight. So let's get it. What's going on, brother?
Same old, just another hectic week.
Okay,
So,
and we apologize to you guys because we had technical difficulties again this week, different from last week, but nevertheless technical difficulties.
yep.
Would you say it was a hectic week?
Yeah, sometimes, things, things when you get to be our age, it's like nothing surprises you. You know what I mean? It's like, it's always something, man. And another mountain to climb, uh, another project, or another obstacle to conquer. It's just how they used to say when we was young, the devil busy. You know what I mean? The devil busy.
So basically, stuff popping out the woodwork.
Yeah, yeah. You know it. That's how about your week?
I mean, mine's normally pretty easy, nice and easy for the most part. My drama comes from like outside forces.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I've found my inner peace, and the whole key is to keep my inner peace from getting interrupted. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah. I understand.
So that's the key component. Just trying to keep that peace in the middle of what's going on around me.
Yeah, that's all we could do.
Yeah. That's the most important thing. Not allowing anything or anyone to interfere with that inner peace that you've found the time to develop.
True. Yeah, that's the main.
Yeah.
That's the
So
main thing.
we might as well get right into it. The government can close down.
Yeah,
Huh?
I really don't know what that mean when they say that. You know.
Uh, well, basically, it's like they're not going to be doing any type of work. They're shutting down for any negotiations and anything like that. And then you know the people suffer really.
Mm.
That's because one side wants something and the other side refuses to give it to them. So they say. I mean, I don't trust neither side, to be honest.
Yeah, me either.
You know, because they full of it to me. They for me they for it's a capitalist society, and the government caters to big business.
Yeah, I heard. I thought I heard that they said that like certain people won't get paid for working, and they still have to work certain people and places.
Well, federal employees, I
Yeah,
would think
federal.
if that was the case, it would be federal employees. But I would imagine they would back pay them, after they reopen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to wait. I wouldn't want to work for nothing if that was me, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I guess that's what they sign up from.
Well, I mean, and a lot of those jobs got great benefits. So
Yeah, that too. That too. They got great benefits. Uh, we never. I never been down that road.
what federal job?
Yeah, I never. I would assume it was good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My wife worked. My wife worked federal jobs.
Yeah.
Social services. That's considered federal.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
some things is my ex she worked for the state, state job, so I was more familiar with that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's I would imagine that's considered federal as well for the
Yeah.
state.
Mhm. Yeah. But
Yeah. So uh,
you know,
you posed a question to me last week, so we go ahead and get it started. I'm gonna pose the question to you.
okay.
All right. It's October, and you know, I guess you could call it a holiday, but I don't know if I would call it a holiday.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, what are your feelings about Halloween?
Um. What's real. Well, it's not crazy, and it's kind of a little bit
Peace,
strange,
Cat.
but sometimes you live on this earth a long time, and like small things you might don't even, you know what I mean? Like I never really got the real definition of Halloween. you know, in school they made it seem like I know it was, I guess, something spooky or horrendous. I know what they call it, Google goblins and something, and not
Ghouls and
ghouls
goblins.
and goblins, and I know it was something you had to dress up for and all that, but I never got the real true perception of it. But what what um what I thought it meant, me, what I if I drew up my own definition, I always thought it was like satanic or like devil worshiping, or you know what I mean, or something with some kind of evil spirits. Well, I grew up a Jehovah Witness, so I never
Right.
really got dressed and went out and did all that. I think one of my aunts dressed me up and took me out one time behind my mother back, but I never got the real clear definition or the perception of it. Um, I would assume the government got a meaning for it, but I don't know what it is. But me, I always thought it was something satanic, something uh with like dark, uh
Right.
spooky. I always thought it was something to make people deal with like mystery. You know what I mean? Like, which that that's the only thing I could really draw up in my mind about it. You know what I mean? That I might have to look it up and see what I don't know what I don't even know what the lesson said about it. I can't even remember what the nation said. But anyway, what about you?
I mean, I when I was younger, I enjoyed the dress up and being going trick or treating, and that's basically you get a trick or you get a treat. You know what I'm saying? So I enjoyed going to house getting candy, and it wasn't always where you dressed up as some type of goblin or ghost. At times, you would dress up as superhero or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So for me, I look at it like most of the other holidays. It's something that a group of people came up with to get you to spend money. You know
yeah,
what I mean? To get, and most of the holidays uh, kind of attract children.
yeah,
So if they attract the children, the parents gonna spend the money.
yeah,
Like Christmas, uh, even Easter. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I mean, probably the only one that I could probably think of, New Year's is not so much for, children. New Year's,
yeah,
I think adults enjoy that.
yeah.
And it gives you the opportunity to set some goals for the next year.
So I don't really know what they say. Like I guess who holiday is it? I guess it's the world's holiday then, right?
Well, I don't know because I don't know if the world celebrated. And see, there's things that America celebrate that other parts of the world don't celebrate.
Yeah,
So I would say it's an American holiday that has been commercialized to help candy distributors sell candy.
yeah, that could be right.
You know, if I had to guess on it, but like you said, I'm gonna look it up and see what was the origin of it.
Right. Yeah.
Where so, but no, that's my take on it.
Okay. Let me pull yours. Um, let me get pull it up here.
Again, we like to thank you guys for taking the time out of your busy Friday to spend the time with us. We appreciate you.
I had your question. I had it up here. I pulled it up. What happened to it? Wait 1 second.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. This might. Let me see. No, that's not it. It's all.
Yeah.
It's
So
always something.
so while you pulling that up,
Yeah.
you know,
Let me pull it up. Go ahead.
what is your take on? Have you heard that? What's his name? Putin and what's the other guy name? Netanyahu. You know, the two of them are being have warrants for their arrest by the UN. Yeah, you froze up, brother. So any of yous who watching, are you familiarized with the UN, the United Nations? It's organization. Vladimir Putin and Netanyahu. Have you heard that they were the United Nations issued a arrest warrant for the two of them for a crime against humanity?
No, I didn't hear that, but I did hear something else, but I didn't hear that.
Yeah, yeah. They're supposed to be, have an arrest warrant, and the United Nations supposed to be for um, human rights.
Right.
Each country having human rights. You know.
Yeah, I found the questions.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to.
um. Well, I talk a lot about relationships and everything, and I like to get every people opinions on relationships all the time. And I know you've been in a relationship a long time. You know what I mean? So, who better to ask than you? Um, why do you think most marriages and relationships don't work out? Go ahead, you could go. I gotta turn something off.
All right, I think most of them don't work is because one, people nowadays, I think people come into relationships looking for the wrong thing. I don't think people come into a relationship actually looking for something long term.
Right,
You know what I mean? I think, as you say, a lot of people come into relationships and marriages, you know, hoping that they're gonna obtain love.
right,
And the thing about love to me is, you know, love varies, love changes. You know what I mean? Because love, you know, you need different things, you want different things, and it comes a time where each individual grow into a different person than who you met, especially if you're in it for a long term, for a long
right,
haul.
right,
If you come into a relationship and you're not ready to change or adjust some of your previous habits or personality quirks, then I think that's what dooms relationships. Very rarely, I believe, do two people come together having the same goals, the same outlook, and be able to tie those goals and them outlooks together and be able to utilize them to help each other grow.
right.
Um, I'm almost convinced that most people who come into a relationship do not come into a relationship to help each other grow, because it's it's about growing and being productive, my view, my opinion. I think if you can grow together and be productive together and find, you know, different things that you guys can do together, but also I think it's important for each individual to remain an individual. I think far too often, in some cases, the individualism gets stripped away
Mm,
for one reason or another. Either the person that you're with is too demanding, or the person that you're with is, you know, is unwilling
right,
to do what is necessary to make each of you, grow. And sometimes it's both people. Sometimes both people clash when it comes to changing things that they enjoy or changing things that they're comfortable with.
right,
Even if by not changing those aspects about yourself, you begin to make the relationship or the marriage uncomfortable. So I believe once we can, look inside of ourselves and look at the person we're with and be open to the differences, because to love somebody doesn't necessarily mean you're going to agree with everything they do. You don't even doesn't even mean that you're going to like everything they do or everything about them.
Right.
So, with that being said, most times once people see the parts that they don't like, they're ready to walk away. You know,
Yep.
so and there are some people want to hang in and try to, give a person a chance to work through those parts. But sometimes, depending on the person tolerance or the person willingness to change those qualities about themselves, then 8 out of 10 times somebody choose to walk away or somebody choose to start a new relationship before they end the previous relationship, which is what you have, is why you say F love, because people can't be, it's very difficult to trust somebody when it comes to your emotions, and a person not being happy and being able to express that they're unhappy in a manner that, is productive,
Right.
in a manner that basically allows a person the opportunity to be aware that something is wrong. Because sometimes people don't even say anything. Something is wrong and they're not unhappy. They don't even come to the person they with. They go to somebody else and share that information with somebody else.
Yeah.
Now I get a point where if you're sharing information to a point where you're trying to rationalize or bring to bring up front what you're feeling, get a clearer understanding of what you're feeling, so you bounce it off of somebody. Because most of us in our heads, a lot of things make sense. When we actually talk about those things and hear them, you know, hear ourselves saying it, then we realize, okay, that don't make as much sense as I thought it did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So those are little tidbits that I think cause relationships to end or people to walk away or break up. What's
Yeah.
your thoughts?
Um, I just think that relationships and marriages don't work anymore because people they not going into them with the right mindset. You got some men, getting asking for females' hands in matrimony and getting ready to get married, and they still got a side piece. So they going into the marriage wrong. You got some women that's marrying men because he's a good provider. You got men that's marrying women just because they might have been with them a long time, and putting pressure on them like, oh, he never married you yet, he never proposed. Man, when you gonna propose? When you gonna marry her? Pressure. You got females marrying men because the guy they really wanted wasn't shit. So they taking this second choice, but their heart is still always with the first choice. And and the scenario goes on and on and on and on and on. And that's why I say I believe marriages and relationships not working because people not coming through the door with the right intentions, uh, uh, what they want to build, what kind of foundation they want to set. You know what I mean? Like they just not doing that anymore. Um, every time I meet a woman, regardless to if she in a relationship or was in a relationship or whatever, you ask them, how about the baby father? Oh, he ain't shit. What you do? Oh, I got a friend, but he ain't nothing. You know what I mean? I do what I want to do. You know what I mean? And then you got the men. Soon as a woman come on to them, they just lose all focus of everything. You know what I mean? Like they just so sex crazed and blinded by lust that they just lose focus of everything. You know what I mean? And with the wants, not with the needs, with the wants. Because what you really only need is one woman. So anything other than that is just something that you want. And vice versa with a woman. What she really what we going by what the Bible say. you know.
Well, I mean, you got now. I got to interrupt you because in the
Okay.
Bible, some of them guys had multiple wives.
Well, I mean,
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
but you know what I mean when you get when I'm saying when that's what the Bible say. I'm saying like it's more patternable. Like people think you get married and you swear to God when on your wedding day, holy matrimony, you and the person get together and y'all put your hand on the Bible and y'all swear before God that it'll just be you and them to death do our part. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Um, you know
Oh,
what I
your
mean?
vows, based on your vows, your
Based on
Christian vows.
your vows, but
Right.
people ain't taking vows serious and people not taking relate. People just not doing it no more, man. And everything has turned into a financial issue. Like people together because they oh, he helped me pay my bills. She got a nice car. That's something I want to talk about later too. I'm not sure I got something I don't want to talk about now, but it's something I want to talk about far as people getting tired of each other. You know what I mean? Um, is that legitimate? I just think it's too many people in the world, bro. That's it.
I mean, if we're being honest and keeping it real, like you say, did people ever just be with one person?
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? So when we think back to our parents, grandparents, and so forth and so on, they were doing it then.
Yep.
The difference was uh, you couldn't take a picture or you wouldn't see it on a social media site. You know what I mean? You had to have a camera, and a person go see you with a camera because you got to get it developed back then.
Right.
So and what I didn't mention is some people and I've been guilty to turn to people based on what you're missing, something that you want in the person that you with that the person doesn't have or may not be capable of having. You know what I mean? I think more people go into relationships or in relationships based on that, based on looking for something that they couldn't find in their partner. As you said, if you married a person that provides for you, but that person is not a good communicator and you like to communicate, what are you going to do? You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? When you want to communicate, what are you going to do?
Yep.
You know, if you married a person because it was pressure, you was pressured because you was with them a long time, and then there's another person that, as you say, your heart belonged to, then what are you going to do? So I think the major issue is it's tough to be honest about how you feel, how we feel. when it comes to relationships because somebody's feelings going to get hurt,
That's true.
you know? And the reality is, if we're being honest or keeping it real, somebody's feelings going to get hurt either way. Whether you come clean and tell them that, look, this ain't working out, or if you hide it and try to deal with somebody on the side and they find out,
Yep.
you know?
Yeah.
So that's, that's something, that's a conversation that need to be had when it comes to, okay, if you're unhappy, what do you do? You know, after conversating with the person and y'all, if you guys can come up with a compromise that's gonna make both of you happy, all well and good. And it happens. People are able to come up with compromises because marriages, people stay together. So they go through it and they're able to communicate, and both people are willing and both people are capable of becoming what you need at that time.
Right.
As you said, sometimes it goes beyond what you want because what you want, like you said, you could do without.
Yeah.
What you need is something you're going to hold on to. You know what I'm saying?
that's,
So,
that's what
so
I
that,
was saying.
right. So that's like a person that is a good provider. If a person is a good provider, either way, a person gonna want to hang around. You know,
Yeah.
if you got a person that blows money and don't do it, keep you in debt, it's going to be easy to walk away from that person. Or
Yeah.
a person that's argumentative, break your peace. So it's certain characteristics about an individual that will make it easy to walk away, and then there's other characteristics about a person that'll make you want to stay.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it.
Yeah. That's true. Um.
My question to you now, you know, you know, what's her name? What's uh, It's been a big frenzy with Cassie. You know, when she came out and said, basically Puff when they showed the video of Puff dragging her in the hallway, roughing her up. Then she started saying basically like, Puff was, basically pimping her out. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
so he's been in jail for probably like a year now.
Yeah.
You,
13 months.
yeah, and people were, quickly people jumped on the bandwagon and he's a monster. He's terrible. And then you had people telling stories and, which is similar to what was done to R. Kelly, same type of, you know, uh, measurements, same type of actions,
Right.
I want to say. So, with that being said, how do you feel about Puff being sentenced to 4 years?
Um. I heard that today. Like I know the prosecution was asking for 14 years. Puff Puffy defense team was asking for 14 months with time served.
Right, yeah, which would
So
have been great for him.
big discrepancy.
Right.
And I guess the judge said he gonna meet him halfway or less than halfway. And he gave him 4 years, and then I think 3 years or 5 years, 3 years supervised vision, something like that, and a $500,000 fine.
So $500,000 bond, so he could bail
Fine,
out now.
fine, fine.
Oh, fine, fine. Oh,
Yeah,
fine.
he not
Oh,
coming home. He doing his
oh,
bid.
okay. So I mean,
He got 13. He got 13 months in. He got to do 4 years. He probably do another year and then go to the halfway house, or he might go to the halfway house before that.
Right, right.
Well, he in
Okay.
the Fed, so I don't know. They say that's
Well,
different.
feds want to get all that. They want to get all that. They want to get at least
85.
85% of that.
So if he got 4 years, he probably got to do
At least 3.5.
3.5, a little bit more than maybe a little bit more than 3.5. So he got a minute to sit down, but he good. He still got
Well,
tons of money.
yeah, I mean, he's in a better position than R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? Where R. Kelly ain't
R.
looking at
Kelly,
coming home no
he got
time
he
soon.
got life, I think.
Right. At least he know he got a date. He got a date coming up.
Yeah, he get to come home. You right. Um, but personally, I think that a lot of people might be missing the bigger picture. I really don't believe this is about domestic violence. I don't. He's guilty of domestic violence. Don't get me wrong,
Absolutely.
but I believe they use that as a stepping stone to get him on other things. Uh, I don't believe you could be charged like that for just being a freak. I believe we all have dated people from other cities and other states, had them come see us, or we went to see them
Right.
for sexual purposes.
Absolutely.
I mean, everybody knew girls in New York or PA, or you knew a girl somewhere,
Right.
another city. You know what I mean? And they travel to you, and you travel. You might even pay for them to come to you. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
uh, I just think when things like this happen to high-profile people, I believe it's bigger than what we know. Um, he probably knew already he was gonna do 4 years. With the money he got, they probably laid it out how it's gonna go. Like, you've been in here 13 months. Uh, chill out for another year, and then we start trying to get you into a halfway house for the last 2 years, or maybe even sooner than that. So I always believe, like, I'm a I'm a Virgo, man. We critical thinkers, man. We always overthinking. You know what I mean? Like, I just believe it's bigger than what we know. Like you said, with Puffy, with R. Kelly, Michael Jackson murder, Prince death, Michael Jackson death, Prince's death. Um, I just believe it's bigger things than bigger than when it comes to um our kind. You know, being big, Biggie and Tupac. Controlling two coasts. Both of them murdered and nobody know who did it. Like, they 20 something years they said this one did it, and this one. You know what I mean? I just it's so much that we don't know. We just little people in this game. You know what I mean? Even if you a big person, you really just a little person. We just little people in this game. It's so much stuff going on beyond us that we don't even know about medicine and the pharmaceutical companies, the water we drink, the food we eat, the harvests, the laws. You know what I mean? The politicians and it's just so much, man. That I just believe that we'll never know the truth, man, unless you rubbing elbows with the powers that be. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely believe, and it's been proven really that there are an elite group of people
Mm-hmm.
that are the puppet masters of the people that we see.
Right.
These individuals stay in the background and basically give orders.
Right.
Even Trump is being a puppet.
Right.
People think Trump is making all of these decisions because he's radical and things of that nature. Some of it is him being radical. Other parts of it is the people who sponsored his presidential campaign want to get their money worth. And, so that's one of the reasons that my opinion, that money shouldn't enter into campaigns, presidential campaigns.
Mm.
Because if somebody give you $2 million, $500,000, they're
Yeah.
gonna want something for that. They're not just giving you that out of the kindness of their heart.
Right. True.
And they're gonna come knocking for what they put that money out for. And as you said, with pharmaceuticals, food, all of these things, you know, these things are controlled by pretty much that same group of elite people.
True.
Now, it's sad because it puts it puts the rest of us, as you said, we're pawns. We're pawns. We just little people that you can move around, and some of us, be able, like pawns, to move up. You know what I mean? To cross the board, to get to further levels than others.
Right.
You know. However, nevertheless, because this is a capitalist society, it's ran by money, and the power of, okay, when you were saying us us as a people, there's, for me, I look at it like black and white. Black and white is a game. It's a game, you
Right.
know. So, and long as somebody's black and somebody's white, that game's gonna be played. And long as we, as people living in this continent, play the black and white game, those people are going to continue to win. Those elite people are going to continue to win because we're going to be at odds talking about each other when they laying back laughing and making money off of us.
Mm.
You know, that's that's my thought. Making money and making loans.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
That's true. That's true. Um. That's a good one. We touched on this a little bit. That lead to the next question. Um. We had a long struggle to be able to vote. Minorities, even women, people of color. We went through a lot for that, and I mean, we can't deny what they've been went through. They fought hard for it, but in I don't know what year, but regardless, it's 2025. We talking about 2025 now. In 2025, do you believe that we as a people should continue to vote and hoping for change?
Uh, as you stated previously, as a people, we went through a lot in the '60s. Now, there's documentation that prior to that, we were in offices and things of that nature. It wasn't that difficult. But we do have the '60s where it was very difficult to vote.
Right.
Now, as you also mentioned, minorities. Okay, we as black people are considered minorities. All right. So if we're considered minorities, what about Chinese? What about uh, Arabs? What about Irish? All of these different people, Italians, all of these people can be considered minorities. The difference between those people and us is Irish come from Ireland, Italian come from Italy, Arabs come from Arabia. Okay, they have a land that claims them. They have what they call a national connection. See, we as a people, we talk about why it's difficult for a large number of us to unify. That's my opinion is because we don't have anything that connects us nationally as a nation of people. What connects us as a nation of people? Black? Okay, just like those people I named, all those people have a land that they still have connections to. They still could go back and visit those lands. They could also get merchandise from those lands delivered here. Where do we do? We say we African Americans, but how many of us got connections in Africa?
Yep.
How many of us can get some gold sent over here from Africa? You know? So I think, yeah, when it comes to voting and hoping, we need to be in a position where we no longer the minority when it comes to the government. And there's no way that the United States government is going to allow enough of us in, being that, as you said, we had problems voting. They, America didn't even want to give us, straight voting rights. So, do you think they're ever going to allow us to be the majority when it comes to their political process? Of course not. It's naive for us to even believe that they would. For me, I've stumbled on some information that tells us that our ancestors prior to slavery, had an identity, had a land, that they were Moors. You hear me say that, quite a few times, that they were Moors, that they had, they were also called Moroccans, and that there's documentation that supports who we were, you know, and I think that is what a lot of us, you know, it would be beneficial if a lot of us start looking more into that and try to establish our own rather than continuously trying to break down the doors of the United States government and hope that they're going to one day decide, okay, you're not black no more. You're just a plain American. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't see that happening no time soon. So that's my view when it comes to us, continuously voting and waiting for change. I know it's a lot of people who are Democrat right now sad because they didn't want Trump in office.
Yep.
You know,
A lot of people.
right? So they're going to continue to be saddened if they don't wake up and then strive to do what we need to do for ourselves. Because when you look at it, we're the only people in this country that basically really don't have complete ownership of things for ourselves. You know what I mean? Everybody else have ownership of, like Arabs, Indians, they got gas stations, necessities, you know, you know, so-called, white people, they got insurance companies, they got hospitals, schools. So when you look at it, it's like, what are we actually doing? We at a disadvantage.
Yep.
So I truly believe the only way we're going to bridge that gap and change that disadvantage is to establish ourselves as a nation of people and claim the land back that our ancestors once owned and start dealing with America from that point of view.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
That's true. Um,
So what's your thoughts?
um, I never really believed in voting.
Okay.
Um, like I said, I know our forefathers and ancestors. They went through a lot to accomplish that for us, but they also did a lot of other things. Like boycotting, um, segregation. Some people might say it's stupid what I'm gonna say, but I'm not sure that everything that they did benefited us. You know what I mean? That's my opinion. Um, because I never seen voting. I never seen voting do nothing for people that I know. I never saw an election come and then somebody do something, and then immediately or within 6 months I saw a change, and like, oh, except for that stimulus check. You know what I mean?
Right. Which
I
they
never,
got back from
I
some
never,
people.
I never really seen like where somebody got in office and right away car insurance was cut. I never seen somebody go into office and right away, um, pharmacy medicine went down. Somebody got in office and right away gas was cut in half. Somebody got in office and landlords was stopped able to charge thousands of dollars for beat down apartments. See, that's the stuff I would look. That's the stuff I would look for in a change. I don't want to know about uh, uh, the border, closing the border. Even though it's good, that's something good. But I'm talking about helping me. You know what I mean? Um, I just never seen the cause where or heard some like my parents or my grandparents say, "Oh, that president that really helped me out. Now I got extra $50 in my pocket this week," or we don't got to pay for medicine no more, or we the lower class, we gonna get vouchers for this, or exempted from this. I just never seen it. Now maybe I'm not denying that it affects us in small portions, probably. Hospital insurance, probably, you know what I mean, or whatever. It probably, from hindsight, it probably can't see it. It probably helped us some kind of way. Certain things probably hurt us. But the little person, I'm talking about the little person, the little things that we worry about. I just never seen it. So anyway, why I say that, I never really believed in. I don't vote anymore. I have done it a couple of times, but it's just like playing a lottery to me. you know,
Right.
you win or you lose. I mean, when you win, you just winning back the money you lost. So to me, it's I'm non-void. Put it like that. I'm not with it.
So that goes with the next question I was about to ask you. Do you believe in the government?
Um,
Pretty much, this conversation.
I believe that. I mean, I say the same thing. I said I believe that the government was made to help certain people, and I believe it was made to keep the poor poorer and help the rich keep getting richer. I believe that the laws were made different from this nationality to this nationality. I believe it's all mapped out. So I can't really believe in something that I don't believe is fair. I really can't believe in something um that's been going on long as I've been born, and before that, before my mothers and my grandparents be born, and they still haven't got it right. They still got police killing people. Um, they still got uh uh sky sky high prices on pharmaceutical companies. Um, they still don't got education right. You know what I mean? It's so many things that the government doesn't have right that I can't believe in the government until they start showing the people down here where we at different things. When police start getting certain kind of training and knowing how to deal. Now, let's get me wrong. Police being a cop is a hard job, but they make it harder. You know what I mean? And then some people make it harder on themselves too. But until policing is done different, and the the social economics or the economy and all that is changing around, where you don't have to work two jobs to make it, where you don't have to beg for assistance for food stamps and Section 8 and all that. You don't have to borrow from your pensions and 401ks, and until you don't have to do all that, I'm not. And I'm not saying it has to be perfect, but it got to be better because the world right now, to me, is in a chaos. You got people. I know people that's working two jobs and still can't make it. You know what I mean? It's people that got businesses and property and barely hanging on. You know what I mean? So until the government can help the people down here, I won't believe in the government, and I won't stand by it, and I won't salute it, and uh uh I won't own up to it. I'm not gonna denounce it, but I won't say nothing good. I will not at all.
Okay, brother. That's about it for us, man. We got like
We touched on everything.
80 seconds. So let the people know, where they
Oh,
can see you at after this.
oh yeah. Sorry, we was a little late today. Some more technical difficulty, but everybody know about 9:30, 9:35. I'll be on my TikTok page at jshawn763, and I'll be on my Facebook Live. Talking about. I want to talk about some serious stuff tonight before we start getting into the play hour and stuff. I want to talk about stuff when stuff hit home. So much go on in this world, but you never know until it hit home. You know, so
Absolutely.
I wanna have some fun. We're gonna have fun.
Yeah, have some fun and also some enlightenment. As
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
as yeah, and ain't nothing wrong with that, brothers.
Right.
Entertainment, is always good. So as usual, we like to thank all of you from taking the time out your busy day to spend it with us. We
Yep.
know you could have been anywhere. We're grateful that you chose to take some time to spend with us. So until next week, we ask you all to be productive, safe,
Yep.
and loving. Till
Exactly.
next week, peace.
Peace.